Hello, everybody. This is a Lamley showcase. I've got a good topic today. I want you to watch, participate, score these, come up with your conclusion. We're going to do this in two parts. This is what sparked this video. These two models, the Canyon Warriors Mercedes-Benz 500e, the Chase model, and then right after that, the race day release of the Porsche 935, also a Chase model. Both of these models are coming out. And as I was putting this Mercedes together with all of the other premium Mercedes models, and then in turn putting this together with all the other premium Porsche models, I started asking myself, are we in the golden age of Porsche or the golden age of Mercedes? Why don't we ask the question? You know, there's always a big deal made about the JDM era. Like there was muscle cars towards the beginning of this century. And then, you know, about 2010, 11, all of a sudden the JDM cars started coming. And, you know, it wasn't just a Hot Wheels thing. That was in car world in general. Japanese cars really took a turn for being super popular. But we've seen, at least in the Hot Wheels world, a real turn to Euro. JDM is still wildly popular, and some of the most popular castings that Hot Wheels releases are JDM. But at the same time, we're seeing Mercedes and Porsche on just a massive run as well. BMW as well. I mean, just European cars in general. There was a time a few years ago when Hot Wheels or Mattel didn't have the BMW license, didn't have the Mercedes license. Of course, they had Ferrari for a while, but it is just going hot and heavy now. And so I thought, why don't we ask which one? Which one is making the bigger play in the Hot Wheels world right now? And so this is all my opinion, right? So part one, we're going to focus on Porsche. We'll put the Mercedes to the side. Part two is going to be on Mercedes. I've got this little scoring system that I've come up with, and we're going to kind of see what wins, which one comes out on top. Let's start with this. I've got over here to the side, I've got all of the Porsche Premium. This is going to be a premium video. All of the premium releases since car culture came out. So that could include most of them, I pop culture, some of that stuff, like mail-ins. I don't have those in here. I don't have RLC. I do have some special edition. We're not even going to play with those. I just put them in the background. These are the premium releases: Car Culture, Boulevard, Team Transport, that sort of thing. I may have missed one. I hope I didn't. But we're going to go through all of those. Number of castings that have been released for Porsche premium castings since the Car Culture, we'll call it the Car Culture era. 19. We're going to go through all of them, all the releases of those. Mercedes, 14. So, first category, number of castings, Porsche wins. 19 castings. But then I also said which ones are new premiums, meaning like they were made for premium. Well, this one, for example, is actually started as a basic, so this was converted into premium. So we're talking about, like, say, this casting, we'll get into it, made for premium. What's another one that was made for premium? Well, this one for Fast and Furious, right? The Cayman. Number of Porsches? 10. Of the 19 castings, 9 of them have started as basic and converted into premium. Mercedes, actually 12, and we'll go through those when we do part 2 of the Mercedes video. Chases, Car Culture Chases, there have been 2 Porsches. This one, and then just, a couple mixes ago, the from Speed Machines. Mercedes, well, there's also been 2 as well, so that's a tie. And we'll talk about which one wins there. But this one, and then the second mix, Deutschland Design, was the Mercedes, the Black Series. That was the second one, so there's only been 2 there. So that's kind of a tie, but there's a preference there, and we'll talk about that later. And then what I've done, we'll talk about these for both. I'm pulling out the home runs, the models that I think are like perfect. Doesn't have to be castings, it's just actual releases. We're going to see how many home runs Porsche has versus how many home runs Mercedes has. These are just, you'll see as we go. And then also I'm giving each casting and its release run a score. And we'll get to that. So, like, you know, casting plus decos plus number of releases, that sort of thing. Porsche 935. Let's start with that. This is what spearheaded this video, and so we'll start with the Chase. I did a race day video already, but I didn't have the Chase, so we're going to do it now. This is the model. It's actually the first Chase that is not like the original. It's the Chases are all black, and it's usually the deco of the original model done in some sort of black version. Well, in this case, the Porsche 935, they actually took the K&N, KW, right, deco, and actually just ditched it and went with the 75th anniversary deco. We've seen this on basics, right? The basic Porsche 935 had this exact same deco, but this obviously goes much more premium. Real riders and metal base, of course, but then you get the trim on the top, which I think was there, but the tail lights, more detail in the rear, in the front, that sort of thing. So this is definitely a premium version. And Hot Wheels wanted to do this to celebrate the 75th anniversary of Porsche, and so that is what they did. I don't know if the Porsche was on the windshield as well, but that is the Porsche Chase that I definitely wanted to feature. So there it is, and it looks really, really good. So we're going to put that off to the side right here, and we are going to start walking through these. So let's just go for it. We're going to start with, I've kind of started with racing Porsches, and then we're going to go from there. This is the first one. They're in random order, not only in from release order, but also like the actual, like the casting, when the casting was developed, but also just in the number of like when they were released. I decided not to go in order. We're going to go a little bit random, but this is the first casting we're going to look at. This is the Porsche 917 LH. Started as a basic, converted into premium, only released once in Gulf livery as part of Team Transport. Now, here's what I do. I'm scale of 1 to 10, judging the casting, the release, the number of, or like the kind of releases it's had. I'm going to rank this one between, 1 being worst, 10 being best, a 7. Casting's fantastic, looks good as a premium. Golf is really cool, but it's been a little boring. It started as a Team Transport and it kind of hung for a little bit. Next casting. So that's number 7. Now what I'm going to do is average all of those scores, and we'll come up with the winner at the end of the Mercedes Part 2, which will be in a couple of days. Let's talk about this casting. This is the Porsche 962. I have them in random order. This is the shell version. We're going to walk through all of these, as we go. This one, was a new casting for premium, released in the first year of car culture, and we've seen all kinds of cool liveries. We have the shell livery. That was, I think, was that Team Transport? I believe so. Momo, which looks really, really good. I think this was in the first mix of Team Transport as well, in the Momo livery. There are certain liveries that are just always fantastic. Momo is one of them. Here is the first home run. Out of all of the Porsches, this is the first one I'm going to say is an absolute home run. This is the Advan version of the 962. Did I even mention the casting of the Porsche 962? I love the mismatched wheels. I love the Advan livery on this one. I love the fact that it's got all of the details. This one is near perfect, and I would say that this one is a home run. So what we're going to do is we'll put that, I guess we'll just kind of put it off to the side over here, the home runs as we go. Next one, Valvoline. This was from a 2-pack, right? I think they put the Advan with this one as well, but there was no, since it was the same casting or the same release, I didn't bring that one out. But Valvoline from the 2-packs. That one looks really good. Here's the first release of that, the Greddy version. Doesn't have as much detail, but it does look really, really good because it was from that first year where they didn't put as much detail on the car culture. And the last one came in entertainment, right? In this inspired, right? Rothman's inspired deco, I would call it, with the Aero style wheels. This one has a home run out of it, the Advan livery. I put the Momo up there as well. So I went ahead and ranked this one at a 9. I think out of 1 out of 10, I think that release is really, really good. So that one is really cool. All right, next one. Only release of this one this was in a diorama set, right? This is the Porsche 917 KH in Gulf livery. Love that it's Gulf. It's a classic car. I just don't know if the execution on this casting, I think if they were to do it now, it would be just slightly different. And so I gave this one a 6. Put that one as a 6. All right, still continue with the racing castings. They have to be car culture era, but there are a couple castings that actually were released prior to that, and I'm going to talk about this one now. This is the Porsche 935 as well. And this one came in the racing series from like 2011 with the Greenwood Corvette and some of those others. And I thought that one was really cool. But we're not even going to rate that one. I just wanted to show you the first version of that. We'll put that here, I think. But let's talk about these other versions. Momo as well on this one of the 935. Looks really good. Momo always looks good. Casting looks a little dated, right? Because it has the large wheels in the back. And that's gonna take this down just a little bit for me. Just because of I just think, again, if this one were done, maybe the wheels are slightly larger. in the real life, but I don't know. Momo is cool. This is a Urban Outlaw, Magnus Walker version. Wheels don't look totally right here. The deco's fine. It's, that Urban Outlaw. It's never been my favorite deco, but, they have a good thing going with Magnus Walker. Really like this one from the Silhouette series and Bilstein, the PPG deco. Really like the wheels. Really like the deco. Again, I think this one would be close to a home run if the casting were just slightly better. I think that's all of those, right? So there's been 3 releases. I feel like I'm missing one, but maybe I'm not. I don't know. That one I decided to rank at 7. Give it a 7 out of 10. I think the liveries on this one are fantastic, but the casting leaves a little bit to be desired. Same type of racing car. One that we've seen converted from basic is the 934.5. We've seen 2 releases of this one. The Luftkult version from this was this the Rally set? I don't remember. That this one came out. Really nice deco, really nice wheels. It's definitely celebrating a Porsche car show, which is very, very cool. I think this Legends version, the second version, has been really popular. People have been after that one. Still not entirely sure how to get it through Legends. Maybe they sell it online during the Legends events or sell it at the event. But this one is cool. Casting's fantastic. Liveries are okay. I gave this one a 7 as well because I think the liveries are okay. All right. Let's move to the Outlaws. There are 2 Outlaw castings. I think we've seen 3 of one, 2 of the other. Let's start with the hardtop. This was the first version of this one. I think it was made for basic. This is the 356A Outlaw. Actually, no, it was made for basic, then converted to premium, right? I'm right on that one. Well, this one was in the air-cooled, I think, mix from the very first year. It looks good with the chrome steelies for sure. Doesn't have some of the detail because of its original release. Then we saw it in Boulevard. This might be released in order with the number 81. That one's nice, based on a real car. Can't remember what the car is, but it is based on a real car. That's kind of cool. It looks era appropriate, period correct. And then this one, which is the Star, and I'm actually going to call this one a home run in the retro Momo deco from Team Transport. I think this one is just fantastic. Love it that it's basically Zamac, but it's got the gloss over it, Firestone tires, the deep steelies, the vintage Momo deco. I think that one is a home run. So there's our second home run. Continuing with the Outlaw, we go with the convertible now. Well, I don't know if this is an Outlaw, but this is the Porsche Speedster. Magnus Walker deco once again from the very first mix of Team Transport. This one, to be honest, I like the casting a lot. This deco doesn't really work for me, and the wheels don't totally work for me either. I know they're Porsche appropriate, but this one looks better, but it's not great as well in that Forza deco. So yeah, I'm a little blah on. We need a better version of this casting is basically what I'm saying. So I gave that one a 3. I just think it's a little bit of a dud. Moving to the 914, this one actually came out. I don't have the originals from Garage, but this one was in, was this one of the racing series? It's also Urban Outlaw. We get a lot of Urban Outlaw decos. It's okay, but I gave it a 3 as well because the casting and everything else just don't really do much for me. All right, moving to some of the 911s, we'll kind of go back and forth. And casting that started as basic moved to premium with this Entertainment. And this might have been during Car Culture. I'm not entirely sure, but I actually brought this one out. This is the which casting is this? This is the Porsche 911 GT3 RS. We got a few versions of these. This is one of the older ones. This casting's been nice. Porsches are hard to do. It always seems to be a little bland, and that applies to, well, I've actually liked the basic releases better, and so I think that one's okay, and that's really what I'm thinking about it. And this Urban Outlaw version is okay from the first year. The wheels don't totally work. Just doesn't look very sporty. Didn't get a lot of the details because it was from that first year. But then we had a better version from the second mix of Deutschland design where it got proper wheels, a little more modern wheels. Still, though, makes it look kind of a little wagon wheelie. The casting has just never been totally up to par. It's nice, but it's bland. I gave this whole mix a 4, or that whole casting a 4. All right, moving on. This one, if we did this video just in a couple of months, I think the score would be very different. This is the Porsche 930. I could have pulled out the convention release, which is fantastic in jet black with the gold rims. It's one of the best releases of the year, but I kept it in premium. So this is the, what did I say? This is the Porsche 930. This is the first release from Entertainments from what was that? It's a video game, and I don't know my video games. The deco leaves nothing, does nothing for me, but the casting's fantastic, and we know the Boulevard version is coming out in a stock yellow color, and it's going to be so good. And if you were to mix in the convention as well, I think that yellow might be the next home run. But this is all we got so far, so it gets a 5. How about this one? GT3 RS. This is the more modern GT3 RS, only released once in premium. Started as a basic. Looks really good. I think this one with full deco, the basic, I always felt like needed full deco. This one got it, got perfect rims for it. All of a sudden, this casting is a superstar. Just short of a home run, but I gave it an 8. I thought this one was really good, and I hope to see it again. I mean, we have the new GT3, the more modern one, but I hope to see that casting as well. Moving on, another one that's just released. I showed you this is the Cayman from Fast and Furious. The casting is okay. It's pretty good. The front wheels don't totally work. Matchbox couldn't do their Cayman right, and Hot Wheels couldn't do their Boxster right. And this Cayman is definitely better. But I still just like, and I like it in white with the black rims. The rims are right. I'm just not totally there with this casting. And I gave it, because of the casting mainly, I gave it a 6. All right. Let's go to a legendary casting. The Porsche 993. This one would be a home run, but we're not talking about this one because it's from Boulevard in like 2013. And we can't really discuss this one because it is the predecessor to these premium versions, but it's also been in basic, but it is one of the all-timers. I'm going to put it over here because it doesn't count in what we're doing, but it would be a home run because the casting is fantastic. These are the releases that will get judged. I will include that, but this one looks really good in black. I actually like the lace wheels on this one. I like the deco on it. It's from the very first year of the 993. Next one came in this is an Urban Outlaw, but this is where I think the Urban Outlaw deco looks really, really good. So I give this one much, much higher scores. Won't call it a home run, but I'll give it much higher scores. I think that is it, right? Those two releases. I think that's an 8 because the casting is so good. The models will look good. I hope they do another clean version like the original Boulevard, but we'll see if they do that. But we need more home runs. I think we're going to get to them. Another Magnus model started as a 964 Carrera 2. This is from the first year. I really like this casting. This deco, definitely a Magnus Walker deco, right? With the multicolored parts. It's a cool casting, the way they did the bumpers on this so they can give it those color breaks. And it's an okay casting, but here's a home run. This was from Modern Classics. Sure, it didn't get all of the details. It did get headlights. They have built in the taillights on this one. But this one, I just love the red trim. I love the wheels. I love the red interior. I love the Porsche logo on the side in red. I've always liked this casting. It came from Modern Classics with the Mercedes 190E. Hint, hint, that's another home run. But this one I call a home run, so I'm going to put it over here with the other two. Keep on going. I think we've seen this casting one other time in basic, or I'm sorry, in premium. This was Boulevard. Cool deco on it. I really actually like the color combination on this one. But yeah, it's okay. The wheels are okay. That one's an okay version. What do I give that casting score? 993 I gave an 8. That one I give an 8 as well because I just think that home run, anytime you get a home run. Here's a casting that moved up from basic to premium. It's not the same as the one you just saw. This is the Porsche 911, the 71 Porsche 911 done in Magnus Walker deco. It's the only time we've seen this one. It's a one-time thing. I give it a 6 only because the casting's beautiful. The deco, we've seen a lot of those Magnus Walker. 944 just released in Canyon Warriors, also converted from basic. Wheels okay, deco, the color is awesome. Really excited to see this premium. I actually gave it a 9 because the wheels actually work on this one. While I'm not a big fan of the Real Riders themselves, I think they really work on this era of car, and I think the execution on that casting is perfect. And with all the 911s and everything else, having a 944 is great. Have you been waiting for the RWB? Let's do it. This is the Stella Artois. They don't call it that because that's a beer and this is a toy, so you're not going to see that. But this is the matte black debut of this casting. They did a version for RLC as well, and but we're not pulling that one out. We're just doing the premium version that they did. This thing was in the silhouette mix. It looks so good, so well done, so well executed. And there's two versions of this casting. We haven't seen it since, but this one is your home run. The purple version from Team Transport, I just think the color stands out. I think the wheels stand out. I love everything. I'd put the Stella Artois in there as a home run as well, but I'm going to put the purple one as the home run. And this is my first perfect 10 of the Porsche releases. It just is. It just has to be. Love that casting. Porsche 959 Rally version. I actually really like the execution on this one. I think the wheels kind of sit inside a little too much, but it looks good. Rothman kind of tribute deco as well, kind of inspired deco. The casting, I like that they did a rally. I think it could have been a little better. I actually love this version. I just think all those details is really cool. There's a story behind why this is white. I'll tell it someday. I can't tell it now. But one day I will. But that one looks really, really good. I think the 959, I'm going to give it a 7 just because there's a little bit to be desired on the casting. Next, 911 GT3 is the new casting converted from basic, put in speed machines. Hopefully we see more versions of this one. This anniversary deco, it's cool. I know why they did it. Speed machines is cool with these wheels, metal base. The casting is perfect. I mean, truly perfect. Compared to the other 911 GT3s too. It's just a step above all of those. I'd give the casting a 10. I'm just not really into the decos. That one's okay. I mean, it's fine, but I hope to see this one in a clean version like the basics we saw last year, right? In black and blue. So the chase is really nice too. But you know, with those decos, it's okay. And then finally, the 935. There is the KW that we talked about, the basic version in purple, and its very first chase, the very first chase that doesn't match the deco of the original. But I do like this KW version. I think the chase, the KW looks better because it is a race car, so it works more, but I do like the 75th anniversary as well. They're very nice. I ended up with that one. I ended up scoring it a 10. There you go. That is part 1. So where are we at? 19 castings, 10 original castings for premium. The average score, I'll compute that when I do the Mercedes, but we had everything from a low with the 3 and the 914 and the Speedster all the way up to a perfect 10 with the RWB. We'll do an average score here in a little bit, but then we'll get to the Mercedes. Here is what I will say about Porsche in premium. It's prolific, right? Tons of 911 GT3s, some classic 911s, some classic race cars. There could definitely be more. Modern, we're doing pretty good. And I would like to see some variety, but right now, Porsche, you'd have to go into maybe convert some of the Panameras and things like that. But there are plenty more classic Porsches to do, and I think that's what makes Porsche more interesting, in my view, at this point. Perfect mix of retro and modern. Home runs, we have 4. RWB in purple, modern classics in black, the vintage Momo from Team Transport, and the Advan race car, which is a stunner. 4 home runs. We're going to see how many home runs we have from Mercedes in part 2. We will see that next on Thursday, everybody. Thank you. Score all yours. Put them in the comments. Let's see where we're at, and then we'll bring it all home with the Mercedes part 2, and we're going to find out what era we're really in. Thanks, everybody. Bye.